Here now at the Smart Start Now podcast, and we got an exciting interview. So we're on site at Tanway Enterprises, doing business at McDonald's. Is the CEO of Tanway Enterprises, in which she has an astounding business empire at McDonald's that she's created. One of the beauty things that I like to do sometimes is really have a conversation in regards to Black entrepreneurship, ownership, financing. What did it take for her to get here? How you got started? Tell your story, because I don't want to just read off a bio. We're here, we're free flowing. We just got finished. I'm about to drink a water. We got McDonald's, we got customers in here. So this is pretty cool to have it on site like this.
Well, first of all, thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for being here. Once again, my name is Tanya Hill-Holliday. This McDonald's that we're sitting in right now happens to be the very first one that I purchased.
Wow.
About 18 years ago. And I'm going to take you back a little bit, though.
Take me back.
I want to take you back to being raised in public housing by a single mother, but a single parent, my mother, but a strong individual. Didn't shortcut anything, anyway, anyhow. But I would tell you that growing up, feeling privileged at that time, because that was all that I knew, it inspired me to someday break away, do something, be something. And so as I graduated from high school, and I was pretty busy in high school, I was a track star, state champion in the state of Virginia, and I played basketball to starting point guard, and I was a major rat, and all of that kind of good stuff. And so, but it was grants and loans that got me an opportunity to go to Morgan State University. Yes, I'm a Morgan State Bear, HBCU grad.
Yes, indeed.
My sophomore year, I got tired of not having any money.
Wow.
And so I looked for a part-time job, and that part-time job happened to be McDonald's. I would go to class on Tuesday and Thursday and leave class and go right to work at McDonald's and close that store down. It happened to be one that didn't run overnight. It closed at 8, so it was feasible for me to go to class and go to work in the evening, get ready for class the next day. I would also open the restaurant every Saturday and Sunday. Now, I would tell you that my mindset was that of the average person who works at McDonald's. And that is, that's not a real job. It is not a real job. It's just, it's just something to do.
Now, what changed that?
Well, I would tell you that, first of all, I enjoyed what I was doing. Now, granted, I had to scrub the toilets and clean the bathrooms and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying I necessarily enjoyed doing that, but what I would tell you that when I did it well. I'm a believer if you're going to do something, you do it all the way, you give it your best. Otherwise, step aside, don't do it.
Right.
That's been my fortitude and my my mission in life, truth be told. And so as I graduated from Morgan State University, again, still working at McDonald's, I went right into management. I was given an opportunity to go into management. I took advantage of that. And I went from a crew person to short story, a vice president in McDonald's Corporation on the corporate side. It was 13 different positions. It was every year and a half to 2 getting promoted to the next level. I relocated about 5 times. I worked at Hamburger University. It is a hamburger university. And it gave me a chance to build skill sets, to learn more, to understand the financial piece of the business. Obviously, it is a business of people. People first. Before we can sell a hamburger, we got to have people.
Yes.
So it's about how do you manage people? How do you lead people? How do you motivate people? How do you get people to grow? How do you inspire people?
Right.
So it was between the people and the operations and understanding the financial piece of the business landed me back in 2005 to have a transition, to be afforded a transition, to leave the corporate side and buy my first McDonald's.
Wow. So one word that kept coming up was your inspiration.
Yes.
And when you do something, doing it well. We're currently sitting inside your inspiration and your dream.
Yes.
And I love the story because it's not, none of it was handed to you. None of it was given. Everything was earned, and you had to see your vision within McDonald's and how you excel. So now you took us from your story of your beginnings and when you started, you went through college, you went through Hamburger University. How's that same inspiration driving you as one, a CEO, but also the chair of the National Black Owners Association for McDonald's?
Yeah, well, you heard me talk about people a few minutes ago. I love people. I love my black folks.
Yes.
I love people. And so what continues to drive me is to, again, be an example for other folks, being a role model, but most importantly, helping any and every person I possibly can.
Yeah.
And so, as chair and CEO, which, by the way, I'm very proud and honored to have this role, I think I'm the first chair and CEO of the National Black McDonald's Owners Association, who started as a crew person, never missed a beat, and went all the way through.
Wow.
But I have served in this organization, this association, for about 17 of my 18 years being an owner. I'm inspired by the people that are around me. And I learn and I give. I give and I take. Each one teach one.
Yes.
Anybody that I can touch, be it an employee of mine who just started work yesterday,
Yeah.
or another owner operator out in Chicago or LA or Nebraska or wherever they may be. If there's an opportunity for me to live, to lean on them or to give or to learn or to exchange, I want to take advantage of that.
Absolutely.
Take advantage of that.
And I'm seeing that. I've even seen your attention to detail as we're sitting in here live. I've seen you get up from your seat, walk over to the customers. Is everything going well? Greeting them, making sure the service is ready. I saw the connection
Yes.
with your leader within in here, your staff leader, and always paying attention to that detail. So that's important. I want my audience out here to know for Smart Start is that when you're starting your business, what you did in the beginning doesn't stop. It's just consistency and execution and perfecting
Yes.
how you're executing that business. And
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah, you can't forget where you came from.
No.
You cannot forget where you came from. And the smallest thing you do may be the biggest thing to that individual that you may touch in one way or another. And that's just what I do.
Well, this is excellent because now I want to switch into overcoming the barriers. One of the biggest one is access to capital
Yes.
for our people. Minority entrepreneurs only make up 8% of the overall franchising industry. Black entrepreneurs, 8%, minorities, 30%. Let's do a correction. So
Okay,
we
okay.
got to change that gap,
Yeah.
that wealth gap. And they say the wealth gap for Black entrepreneurs to our counterparts is a 200-year wealth gap.
Yeah.
But you're closing it day by day by inspiring the next generation. So the first barrier being access to capital, how did you overcome that? And any tips out there for new aspiring entrepreneurs?
Yeah. And I would say my angle perhaps may have been a little bit unique. And what I mean by that is, again, remember I started as a crew person and worked my way up. I had that discipline to spend a little, save a little, right? Pay the bills,
Yes.
right? And so, but let me add one more thing to that. But also being the best performer you possibly can.
Yes.
And so, I would tell anybody that's listening, whomever you're working for or working with, two things I'm going to give you. One is work it today and own it tomorrow. Put that mindset in your head right now. Work it today, own it tomorrow. Okay. And if you have that mindset, then you got to figure out, well, how do I do that?
Right.
And that's that discipline you have to create. And that discipline was about, how do I be the best? How do I make the most money? How do I put inside?
Yep.
And so for me, in my situation, I was fortunate enough to have been an excellent performer. And so I had some stock options that were saved up. That was my road to my first financial step to buy my first restaurant. But beyond that, because today I own and operate 12 restaurants. 18 years ago was one restaurant.
She
right?
said 12, y'all.
Yeah.
I just want everybody to understand.
12, yeah.
12. And before you go past that, what is the AUV for one unit? Just to tell the audience.
The AUV,
Yeah.
as in the,
Average unit value.
for McDonald's?
Yep.
Okay, or for Tanway Enterprises.
Give me
Okay,
10.
so here's what I would tell you, without giving too many
Too
details.
many details. Yep.
Let me just say this, for the average McDonald's U.S. traditional restaurant today is about 3.6 million.
So you have to listen.
Sales.
Sales. So you have to listen to what she said. She had a total
I
of
have 12.
12.
12.
And the average is 3.6. You can't walk past that. We got to congratulate you and give you your roses for that. And people need to understand the mindset. She said, work it today, own it tomorrow. And you did that through each unit. in each execution, in each process. But keep
Yeah,
going, keep going. I
yeah.
just want to make sure I don't like to go over roses. I want to
Yeah.
make sure we give you your roses.
I want to make sure that I capture that acronym correctly. That's why I had to look at you to make sure I got, there's so many acronyms. So you got to make sure you
Alphabet
nail the
soup.
right.
Yep.
I get down to MICKEY, MOUSC. It's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
But in some entrepreneurs in McDonald's, their average volume may be a little bit lower.
Right.
Their average volume may be a little bit higher.
Yeah.
But it is about getting into that business. So I won't just say McDonald's, that business that you may get in and working it.
Yeah.
And working it and working it. And creating that audience or that consumer base that want to come back and, buy from you.
Excellent.
Yeah, buy from you.
So, so it's beautiful. So to get over the barrier, you saved up money, you had stock options, you utilized that supported you with the liquidity. Then the next thing, how did you get through the barrier of you were already working at McDonald's? Who saw the potential in you and exposed you to say, hey, you could be an owner? Who was your mentor?
Well, I would tell you, I have countless mentors.
Yeah.
I'm going to start with my mother. And she wasn't a McDonald's owner. She wasn't an entrepreneur. She was a woman working hard at it every single day to raise her kids, never giving up. She inspired me from her diligence and her determination and her drive, never ever giving up. Her positive spirit, believing in God and praying the whole 9 yards. So that's my very first inspiration. Wow. Throughout my McDonald's journey, there's been countless mentors that have been there for me, have coached me, have given me the ups and downs and ins and outs. And I would tell you, not just African Americans.
Yeah.
There have been other denominations. So it's been a plethora of folks. My pastor,
Yeah.
my husband, my daughter. It's a village.
It's a village.
It's a village.
And that's important. And that's one of the things that we talk about through the Black Franchise Leadership Council. We have that conversation within the IFA, within Bremer Bank, about every community having a voice and that you create a village. You're only as strong as your network.
That's right.
So if you don't have a network that's smarter than you and stronger than you, there's no way that it can uplift you through that. So I'm glad that you mentioned that and was able to share that. And I see how important family is because we're also friends on Facebook. So family's both important to us. And I hear that your faith that was instilled in you
Absolutely.
by your mother, giving you that vision. So, man, it's absolutely amazing. And one of the things I also want to let you know why we're here at Smart Start Community, because August is National Black Business Month. And this is the CEO leader who we're honoring for National Black Business Month. And I'm not going to even I don't want to even shortchange what she's doing because she's currently planning the conference in September. So tell the audience about the conference coming up.
Sure. This is again, NBMOA, the National Black McDonald's Owners Association. This is our 51st year of being in business as an organization, established back in '72 with a small group of McDonald's Black owners. I am so proud and privileged to be the 15th chair and CEO, the third female over these 51 years. And it is about making sure that we have equal playing field with the general market McDonald's owners. We comprised of about 166 entities. Wow. There are more than 12,000. We only make up about 12% of the owners. That's not good enough.
Right.
Not good enough.
Right.
But we have our convention coming up next month. It will be in Las Vegas. It's going to be a phenomenal 3 days that we come together and we share and inspire each other. We bring in different speakers. Obviously, it's a three-legged stool. Our brand consists of a three-legged stool, which means it's the franchisees, the McDonald's Corporation, and it's our vendors. Okay. So the three-legged stool will be there. And it's going to be a great event. Looking forward to it.
And I'm excited. Bremer Bank will be there as well.
Excited.
So we're typically go every year. So I'm looking to go out there and fellowship with the other owners and talk to them about access to capital. So this is great community. You're planning. You're the epitome of what it is to be a Black entrepreneur within the space. So we're so excited to be able to highlight you. I think as we go towards, we know you're busy, as we go towards the tail end of this interview, The one thing I want to talk about is we talked about the state of diversity, equity, and inclusion in franchising,
Yeah.
but just in general in business. Where do you see the future for diverse entrepreneurs, and what is it that we need to be conscious of and continue to advocate for? But also, how do we take it to the next level?
Yeah. So first of all, I think the future is bright. That is, if we take advantage of it, get a good grip, hold on, let's go. I think we are more educated today than we've ever been. I think we are more involved today than we've ever been. I want to go back to a question that you asked about how do I get started? And I want to give this to those up and coming entrepreneurs. I talked about the first store that I purchased, and I talked about the ability to have to use my stock options. But more important is that to grow that equity in that first store or that first business that you may get in, because then you can use that equity to get the second store or that second business. So you may not get a paycheck for a month, 6 months, maybe even a year. But if it's about growing your business, if it's about really expanding, that's part of the risk you have to take, right? That's part of the challenge, part of the discipline you have to take. Put it aside, build your equity so you can build upon your business. Reach out and touch someone. Take advantage of whatever is out there to help you get educated to get in that business, and never give up. Never, never, never give up. I have another saying that is, when you wake up in the morning, did you make your bed? Can I just share this 1 second?
Yes. Oh, please.
When you wake up in the morning, did you make your bed? Now, I've given this speech a couple of times. I'll be in the school next month, I'm gonna give this speech again. And when I say that to a group, I'm not talking about a little group. Pull your covers off.
Right.
Put your pillow on it.
Right.
I'm gonna ask you to yourself, and you should ask yourself, did I make my bed today? Okay? And that means that I get up, that I say my prayer, that I plan my day, that I figure out what is it I'm going to accomplish today. And at the end of the day, all of those things, tangible things that you thought you, tangible or intangible, that you thought you were going to accomplish or you set out to do and you didn't. But if you made your bed, you got one thing accomplished today.
That's it.
You got one thing. So I say, get up, make your bed, paint that vision, live that vision, execute that mission, put all the tactical plans in place, day after day after day. Whatever it takes to get there, you can do it if you put your mind to it. Make your bed.
So, Smart Start community, make your bed, have your vision, understand what's inspiring you. We have been blessed today, and thank you for your time, because I know it's precious, and that's the most precious commodity. And thank you for sharing this with our audience. And we look forward to also having you at the Congressional Black Caucus
I'll be
panel
there.
coming up in September. So we got a lot of exciting things. So I thank you. I give you your roses, and I appreciate you for being the guest here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.